Hi guys, today I'm going to share a quick little project with you for making coasters out of charm squares. And if you're not sure what a charm square is, it's a type of pre-cut quilting fabric that comes cut in 5-inch squares, and they're usually curated in these really pretty bundles. I buy a lot of these because it's a fun way to get different quilting fabrics without spending too much money. So as you can see, I have a huge collection, and coasters are one of the best things you can make out of charm squares. Today, I'm going to show you how to make these, but also explain some mistakes to avoid when making coasters. This is one of the first coasters I made, and as you can see, it doesn't look quite as nice as this one. This one has really nice sharp corners, and it's not wobbly or warped like this one is. There's obviously nothing wrong with this, and I'm definitely still going to use it because the teacups are just so cute. So I'm going to share what I did for both of these so you can make coasters that look nice and crisp like this one. The main difference is honestly the size of batting that you use. Both of these are Insul Bright batting, which is a type of insulated batting. You can of course use regular batting as well, but these are better at insulating heat, so it's nice if you have a hot mug. Most tutorials will tell you to cut your batting to a 5-inch square, which is the same size as the fabric that you would use to make a coaster. But when you cut your batting to the same size as your square, you end up having really thick seams, and that's what leads to this bulkiness that's really difficult to sew through, and it ends up giving you these kind of curved lines here instead of having a nice perfect square. And when you use batting that's the same size as your fabric, it's really hard to get nice crisp corners, even if you clip the corners after sewing. So for that reason, I use batting that's a 4-inch square instead of a 5-inch square. You can use this trick for whatever size of coaster you're making, and it even works for pot holders and other projects like that. Basically, the point of using a smaller square of batting is so that you aren't sewing through so many layers when you're making these. It's that bulky layer that makes it difficult to make these look nice. Most tutorials for making coasters will have you start by laying your fabrics right sides together. And we're going to do that for our project too, but I just wanted to share the differences between these two methods. So after laying these fabrics right sides together, most tutorials will have you take your batting and lay it on top of that, and then sew around the outside. The reason you do it this way is so that the batting ends up on the inside after you turn the coaster. To make a coaster with this method, you're going to do things a little bit differently. We're still going to have our fabrics laying right sides together, and we're still going to stitch around them and leave an opening so that the coaster can be turned. With my method of making coasters, I actually sew the fabric together before even attaching the batting. And the reason I do this is because even when you cut the batting smaller, you're sometimes fighting with it under your presser foot and it can shift around as you're trying to sew. This is especially true with the Insul Bright, which is a little bit stiffer than other types of batting. So we're going to start by pinning this and sewing around the outside, leaving a gap in the bottom. So here's how that looks after sewing, and I didn't mention it, but this is a 1/4 inch seam allowance around here. One thing you can do to make the corners extra pointy is to trim each of these corners really close to your stitching. You just want to be careful not to trim the stitching itself. The next step is to use some spray adhesive to attach the batting to the center of the coaster. Because the batting will be sandwiched in the middle, it doesn't matter which side of the fabric you attach it to, just so long as it's centered in the middle. So I sprayed this piece with the adhesive and I'm going to attach it to the fabric. If you don't want to use a spray adhesive, you can also use fusible batting, which has an adhesive on it already, and you just attach it with your iron. I don't have any of that, so that's why I'm using the spray adhesive. And I'm just making sure that's nice and secure so it lays neatly in the middle after I turn this. The next thing we're going to do is turn it inside out. As you're turning it, I like to use something to poke the corners out from the inside so that they're nice and pointy. Just make sure you're not using something that's going to puncture through the fabric. As you're turning these, you also want to make sure your batting is laying really nice and smooth on the inside. And you can also make sure that your seam allowances are laying flat on the inside too. Next, we're going to press this with an iron so that it lays really smoothly. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that these edges of the fabric on this opening are pressed in a nice straight line across here. If it's pressed in too far or too far out, it's going to have a ripple and not look nice. Here's how that coaster looks after pressing it. The last thing we need to do is sew a narrow seam around the outside of the coaster. This is the step that's going to secure the opening and also give it a nice finished look. When you're sewing that, you just want to make sure you're close enough to the edge that you're actually catching these layers of the opening. I like to start in the middle of the opening, stitch all the way around, and then come back over my original stitching to secure it in place. And that way I don't need to really do any back stitching on here. And here is the finished coaster. It lays nice and smooth, the corners are nice and sharp, and it doesn't have any ripples in it. Personally, I really like how these look compared to the traditional way that you would normally make coasters, with the batting that's the same size as your squares. So I really hope you like this method for making coasters, and I hope it works well for you. If you have a lot of charm packs like I do, I have a couple other tutorials for using charm packs that you can check out on my channel, and I will link those on the next screen. Thank you for watching.